If you didn't already, you need to rinse your rocks. They've got dust on them. I think most everybody heard me say that. So just rinse them off and dry them off real good and bring them back to your space. You want to take your lids off of your paint to just have them ready and keep your lids handy for paint mixing maybe. And then you've got your brushes, you've got your paper towel, and you should have your water nearby so that you can rinse out your paintbrushes. So what we are making today is we are painting our rocks to look like cactuses. So we're making stuff like this. So they'll look like cute little cactuses. I'm even wearing my cactus earrings today. And then we'll put them in the little pots that we have with the rocks too. So I just have that sitting to the side. I went ahead and already put my rocks in it, but you don't have to do that yet. You might decide that you want to paint your pot. I only gave you the paints to paint the rocks today, but if you have different paints at home, or even if you wanted to decorate it with different kinds of tape, like fun duct tape or fun washi tape or things like that, you could decorate this too. So obviously you would do that before you put in the rocks, the little rocks that are in there. So you can paint that and decorate it if you'd like to, with some of these paints or with different kind of paints, but that's up to you. So we'll go ahead and we will paint these. And so your background color, just like these, needs to be green, and it can be different shades of green. And the way that we get those different shades of green is by adding a little bit of white, a little bit of black, depending on if you want a darker color or a lighter color. So we can go ahead and start with our first, everybody kind of has different sizes, like you can kind of see they're all kind of different. So you just want to start with your background color. I'm going to start with my medium-sized brush. So, and you might not have the same brushes as me. You might have the same if you did our painting project, but I've got 3 different sizes. And so I'm just going to choose this middle-sized brush. And I'm going to dip it in the water first. We kind of talked about that last time we did a painting together. I'm just dipping it into the water and scraping it on the side. And I am going to blot it on my napkin. So just like this. I just want it just a little bit wet. It helps the paint go on a little bit smoother, and it helps us clean them out a little bit easier at the end. And remember to always be careful with your bristles. You don't want to jam them. You want to have nice clean hair and not the frizzy crazy hair. We talked about that last time we painted too. So I've got it nice and damp just a little bit, and I'm just going to pick one of my rocks, and I'm going to go ahead and dip into this green, just plain, and I'm going to paint the front, and I'm going to paint the back too. But I'm going to start with the front, and I'll probably have to let it sit for a little bit before I go and paint the back. So I'm painting it in my hand a little bit, but you can set it down and make sure you get the edges really good. Go all the way around as far as you can. Okay, and I'm going to let that one dry just a little bit. I'm going to let that one dry just a little bit before I flip it over to do the back, but I definitely want to do the back too. So I'm going to leave that, and I'm going to take a little dollop of my green because I want a different color for the next one and a different background color for the next one. So I just took a little dollop about that size and put it in this lid that I left to the side. And I'm going to add just a little bit of, let's do a lighter color for this one. So I am going to dip into it, but I'm going to dip into the edge so I don't make all my white messy. I'm going to get just a little bit of it just in the edge. I grabbed it, and I'm just going to mix it like that. And then I'm going to paint my second rock. So it's just a little lighter color. You can kind of see the color difference in those. This one's more of a 4-H green, grass green. This one's more of like a sage color. Ooh, I like that one. I'm gonna make sure to get the sides of it. And then I'll let that dry for just a little bit before I get ready to flip it over. And you don't want the paint to be too thick because like I said, you want it to dry so you can flip it over and do the back side too. And I'm going to keep this paint to the side because I need it for the back side of that rock.
Alexis?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't have a paintbrush.
Yeah, you had to gather one from home. Remember when you did the snowman painting, you should have some paintbrushes at home. They didn't come in your box this time.
I have to paint with my hand. Yes.
And I'm going to swish this around the bottom of my cup like I'm making chocolate milk. Just don't drink this. And I am touching the bristles to the bottom. I'm just not jamming it. So I am swirling it around. And then I'm going to scrape it on the sides. And I'll dry it off on my paper towel. And for this last one, I want to make a darker color. So I'm going to take a dollop of green again. Just about that much, just like I did last time. And put that on my plate. And then just take a little bit of black. It doesn't take a lot or it'll be very dark. And I'm just dipping it out of just the edge so that I can still have black and it doesn't mix in. And I'm just going to mix that color and make it darker green. It should be like a hunter green color, but it doesn't have to be the same as everybody else's. There. So it's a pretty dark green, like a forest green color maybe. And I'm just going to paint that third rock. So now you can see I've got 3 different, very different colors of green over here. And by the time we get this one over here painted, the one we're working on right now, this first one should be dry enough to flip over and paint the backside. Maislin, did you get some paintbrushes?
No.
You can run inside and go find some paintbrushes.
I don't even know where they are.
Oh.
They're probably somewhere in my closet, jammed up.
Is that a scary place to be, inside your closet? Is it full of clothes and toys and all kinds of things?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm painting with my fingers.
Okay, and I'm gonna rinse that. I noticed something when I painted my rocks, and I'm really curious to see if you guys noticed it too. Do you notice a difference between your 3 rocks? Between your first one, obviously they're different colors if you decided to mix the paint, but look at this rock, the one that had just the green, like plain green, and then this is the one that I added white to make it lighter. And then of course my darker one, which is still pretty wet, so I can't pick it up very good. But do you guys have any observations about the 3? Is there something very different about any one of them specifically? Miss Morgan, what do you think? What did you see?
I had one really big one and then 2 sort of smaller ones.
Okay, so you're noticing the sizing of yours. Anybody else notice anything different about the paint? About the way that the paint's drying?
One's rough and one's smooth.
One's rough and one's smooth. So Yeah, this one is a little rougher. Something that I noticed is that this one that I only painted green with, because I didn't add a second paint to it, it seems thinner and I can see the rock through it and not just plain green. Like this one's pretty solid green. You can't really see the rock through it, but you can see the designs in the rock on this one. And Kylie, you're right. Maybe it's because this one's smooth and this one's got a rough texture. It seems like the paint was thinner on this one because I didn't have two kinds of paint. I just had one paint. So this one's dry enough. I can flip that one over now, my plain green one, and I can go ahead and paint the backs of these. By the time you get to the second one, it'll be dry enough to flip over. By the time you get to the third one, it should be dry enough to flip over too. So just make sure you're using the same color that you used for the rock on the front. Make sure you're using the same color for the back. Yeah, when I just used just the green, my green color, it's a little bit thinner without those other two colors added. I might actually have to do more than one coat on this one because it's really see-through. The paint's very thin. Is anybody else having that same issue, or are yours a little bit thicker?
Mine's kind of thick.
Really thin.
Yours is thick? Good. So yours should only take one coat, really. Okay. And my little one, my middle one is dry enough. I'll flip that over. I am going to wash my paintbrush in between each rock so that I'm not mixing I don't mix my colors, so they won't end up all being the same blob of green color. They'll be their separate colors. Don't forget to get around the edges too on the sides so that it's painted all the way around. Look how dark this one dried. It's almost black. It's a very dark one. So I must have added a little bit too much black to my paint, but it'll still be pretty cool. So that one's dry. I can paint the back of that.
What are we making?
Who was that? Was
Maitland.
that Maislin? It was Maislin. What did you say, Maislin?
What are we making?
I guess you might have missed that part. We are making cactuses, see?
That's cool.
Yeah. So we're gonna paint our rocks to look like cactuses and they'll go in our little, the little flower pot that I gave you. So you won't have to worry about watering these plants, will we?
No.
No. Yeah, because they're fake. But they'll still look cool.
I planted a tomato plant.
You planted a tomato plant?
Mhm.
That's cool. Did you do it recently or did you do it a while ago?
It was about 4 days ago.
Okay, so it's not producing anything yet. It doesn't have any tomatoes on it yet?
Well, we bought it with a little tomato on it, so it has.
Oh.
And it was $16 because it had like like the one of those things you put around the tomato plants. So
The tomato
like,
cage?
yeah, that.
Yeah. Okay.
So we put one of those around it, and it goes. It just keeps.
That's exciting. Fresh tomatoes on a sandwich. My favorite is BLTs, bacon, lettuce, tomato sandwiches, especially from the garden. Those are
Yeah.
yummy. Yeah. Okay. So this one, since mine was a little see-through, I'm gonna put one more coat on this one for myself because it's just kind of, it needs to be darker, I think. How's everybody doing? Do we have all of our rocks pretty well painted and just kind of drying? Are we still working on them?
I'm still working on them.
Same.
I can see everybody with their paintbrushes for the most part. It looks like everybody's still kind of painting.
Look at my hand.
You are a mess.
I'm getting paint all over the phone. My phone.
Is your mom okay with that? Did you in your instructions, it said to protect your surface that you're painting on.
My mom said that was okay though.
She says it's okay.
Isn't it washable paint?
Well, it's acrylic paint.
Yeah, that's good enough.
I don't know about it being washable if it gets on certain surfaces.
Yeah, acrylic paint isn't washable.
Who is it
Yeah,
that said that?
We paint
Cross
with acrylic paint at school for our
Yeah.
art project, and it does not come off the tables.
Yeah. I think maybe tempera paint, maybe sometimes schools use those and it's a little more washable, but acrylic paint doesn't usually come off.
Well, I kind of protected my surface with like newspaper. My grandma always reads the newspaper, so I have that.
Yeah, that's good. Is anyone coming to camp? I see a couple of hands raised. We've got several workshops that are coming up too. I think the next one is robotics next Tuesday. So that one will be
I'm going to
fun.
do the salsa one.
The salsa one? Yeah, where we go and garden for a little bit and then we get to make the salsa from the garden. That one will be cool too.
I'm doing that too.
Yeah, good.
I'm doing photography too.
Yeah, that one's coming up. They're all coming up. We have one almost every week, I think, if not two. Because next week we have the robotics and the salsa one. Kelby, how is it going? Did you get yours all painted? Hi, Reagan. I didn't say hi to you earlier. Violet, did you get yours all painted?
I'm about to finish one of the backs.
Okay.
I got one done.
Yeah. Do you have all three of yours done, Maislin?
Almost. I've got to cover some more of mine because my paint came out really thin.
Okay.
Maislin, I think you missed a finger too.
I don't want to get all of them.
She's gonna end up with paint in her hair too.
My mom's gonna be mad enough at me as it is.
Kelby, did you get yours painted? McKenna M, are you all painted up? Yeah,
I just finished.
good.
Done.
So while we're waiting for them to dry, we can talk about the design of our cactus, like needles, and the design of, some of them kind of have like a swirly design on them. Some of them have the prickles, some of them have polka dots. So be thinking about the designs that you want. I'll show you these pictures again. So that you can kind of be thinking in your head and designing, well, which one do I want to have stripes on? Which one do I want to have the polka dots on? So here's a picture again. So this one, it's got the stripes on it and the prickles. Some of them have just the prickles. This one has just the stripes on it. This one has the stripes and prickles too. And some of them have the lighter green and the darker green and a medium green. So be thinking about how you want your design to be for each one.
Can we have them all the same design?
You can. That's totally up to you. These are your cactuses, so you get to pick how you want them to look. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start putting some stripes on some of mine. So I'm going to go over to the one that I painted first, so that it's the one that's most dry. And I'm going to put my light color that I mixed up, the one that I painted the middle color, and I'm just going to put some stripes on there. So I'm using my smallest brush, and I didn't put too much paint on it, just a little bit. I'm just putting I started in the center. I put a stripe in the center. And because I want it to look like it's rounded, I'm going to make all of my other stripes just a little bit curved to go with the curve of my rock. So I put the one in the center. I made it straight, and you can make all of them straight. That's fine. That's how they are on these. But these other two, I'm going to come out from the center, almost kind of like a beach ball. That helps make it look like, it gives the illusion that it's circled, that it's got a spherical shape. So this one's kind of hard to paint because, like Kylie was saying earlier, it is textured. So that second line that I made it just a little bit curved, and you don't have to do that. You can just make them straight. They'll look just as cool straight. And then the one on this side, I'm going to make it a little bit curved. All of mine, I'm making curved except for that center line.
I'm making tiny rocks that you gave us to like put the dots on.
You're using that to put the dots on?
Mhm.
That works since you didn't find your paintbrushes. For the rest of us, if you're already putting spots on yours, it's easiest to use the bottom of your paintbrush to do the polka dots. If you did the last painting with me, we talked about that as a really good strategy for making the polka dots, the prickles. So there, now I've got all my stripes, and they kind of have a rounded look to them. And I'll put that down, and I will wash out my paintbrush, and I'll let that dry, and I'll move on to the next one. So I want one of mine to have kind of a swirl to it, like it's one of those cactuses that kind of is in a twist a little bit. So I'm gonna do that on let's see, maybe this medium one, this color. And I'm just gonna dip into my green, regular green. This one had a little bit of white in it. So, and I'm gonna start up at the top and I'm gonna almost make like an S kind of shape. Like that. And it's gonna basically curve around. And so I'm starting at the top again. It's hard to see backwards. And I'm just swirling it down. And you'll continue your lines on the back too, and that's what will give it, make it kind of look like it's a rounded shape. So now I've got my swirls on that one. And I'm just gonna set it down to dry. And the cool thing about paint, if you end up painting something and you don't love the way it turned out, just let it dry and paint right over it. Okay, and then I'm gonna go to my big one. And I think I'm just gonna do polka dots on this one. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with my white, and I'm gonna use the end of my paintbrush like that to make my polka dots. And I'm just gonna do the polka dots in a line. So just like that. And I'm gonna make a few more stripes on here that look like polka dot stripes. And then that one will be done. And don't forget to, once they're dry, turn them over and do the other side. How's everybody doing so far? Good. If you get to the point to where your paint is dry, where you're putting like stripes and things like that, you can go down the middle of those stripes with your polka dots for your prickles.
Do we
Um,
do the? Do we do the other side of the rock, the back side of the rock?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yep, if your top part is dry, you can flip it
Dry.
over and do the back side just the same.
Okay.
Okay. If you have something handy that you need to use to help fan your rocks to get them a little bit dry, you can definitely do that. So now that this one's dry, I'm gonna go ahead and put some polka dots down the center of those lines. I didn't think about including this. I should have included it in your box, but it might have gotten lost. I guess I could have maybe put it inside one of the bag that these rocks are in. If you have not a Q-tip, well, a Q-tip would work, but if you have a toothpick, that might be handy to help you make the little spikes if you wanted to do something like that. Otherwise, I'm just gonna be careful and use the end of my brush to do that. But that's like a detail thing. So that's gonna be one of the last things that we do when everything is dry. So you want the little white polka dots first, and then we can do some spikes too.
Can you paint the pot?
Paint the pot?
Yeah.
Yes, I wouldn't recommend doing it yet. I would definitely do that with a paintbrush for you since you don't have a paintbrush. I would wait until you have a paintbrush handy. And it's best if you have different paint colors at home so that your pot doesn't match your cactuses. Maybe you can paint it some fun colors, some fun summery colors, hot pink and yellow and purple and green or something. So now this one has some polka dots right down those lines. And I still feel like that color is still really see-through. So I'm gonna add just a little bit more color to it. I'm excited to see the designs that you've come up with. These will be really fun and unique. There, that looks a lot better.
This is one of them that I did.
Ooh, Kelby, I like it. That looks good. And I'm already not happy with my swirly looking one, so I'm painting over it. That's the nice thing about paint, is if you don't like it, let it dry and try again. Kelby, you did a good job on your spikes. What did you use to do your spikes? Did you use your paintbrush?
I used the paintbrush. I used the smallest paintbrush.
Yeah, good
So
job.
it wouldn't make. This color, so I'm gonna get some green. Earlier, this is my last list, so I can make a count. Probably shouldn't have made this much. I'm gonna get green. A little bit more green. Really, I do not like this side.
Kelby, I think you're still on, your sound is still on. There we go. Okay. How are we doing with our designs? Everybody's coming up with some good designs?
I finished.
Violet, you're finished?
Mm-hmm.
Are they dry enough I can see one yet? Not quite? I definitely don't want you to mess them up.
Probably just one.
Okay.
I'm finished.
Ooh, I like it. That's fun. Good job.
Thank you.
If they're taking way too long to dry, you can also always get a hair dryer and they'll dry pretty quick.
I found like a little sponge that I could use.
Cool.
Yes, Reagan, you have a question?
I finished.
Are they dry enough that we can see them yet?
Yeah.
Let's see. Ooh, good job on those spikes. I like that. Those are fun. Perfect. Good stripes. Nice job. Those are fun. Yours are pretty dry then, huh?
Yeah.
Good. Good job. Todd, would you like to use this time to talk about the box gives back?
Sure. In your boxes, you'll see this month we have another sheet there. It's called Box Gives Back. And so we are wanting to help your mom and dad do some spring cleaning, and all of the books that you no longer read or want to share with somebody else to take the reins, if you will, and read for you. We're inviting you to participate in our Box Gives Back campaign. Find all the books that you no longer use anymore at home, put them in your box, and find somewhere locally to donate your boxes to, filled full of books. It could be a daycare, a church, a library, other charities and organizations that you know of in your town, anywhere. And go meet the people that work there. Give them your box, take a picture of you giving them their box, and tell us about your experience this summer. We want to take this opportunity to know that we've been at home doing a lot of fun things with 4-H in a box, but now it's our turn to put our boxes to good use and give them out to others in Canadian County, filled full of joy and books for this summer. We want to try to do this by June 4th. I know that's quick, but we don't want to take any more time of your summer, and we want you to get out and enjoy your summer. So we thought we would have this something that you could do now. I guess between now and the end of the week anyway, it's supposed to rain. So now's a good time to clean out your closets with all your books and put them in your boxes and tell us how your experience was. Does anybody have any questions over that? I think it'll be a super fun way to clean your rooms. And now it's me telling you to clean your room, not mom. So if you go ahead and do it, fill up your box full of books, then you may even get a gold star or a bonus in your allowance. Mom?
Todd says so. Isn't that a great idea? Todd came up with that idea to share and to give back to our community. And I think that is such a fantastic way to reuse our boxes to give back to our community. Great job, Todd. That's such a great idea. Super helpful.
I've already found books to donate.
Yay. So you've already put some in your box to give away. Great job.
Are they your books or are they Caden's books?
My books.
Good job.
Alexis,
Yes.
is this our last 4-H in a box?
Yes, it is. So this will be our last 4-H in a box. We will start again just for the summer because we're so busy with other summer things. We're busy at the extension office and doing day camps and camp and things like that. But you guys are also busy. You've got sports camps and 4-H camp and all kinds of things that you guys are doing too with your families and vacations. So we will start back up again in September is when we will start back up. Just because the August one is during fair time and oh my goodness, we're all going to be so busy with that too. So we'll start the 4-H in a box back up in September. I noticed that somebody had their hand raised. Was it McKenna M or Reagan? I saw somebody's hand raised.
Reagan.
Reagan, what did you have a question?
No, I painted my pot and I wrote 4-H on it.
Perfect. I love that. Nice job. That looks great. Morgan, I don't think I have ever seen your hair down before. Girl, your hair is long. That is pretty. I think when I see you, it's usually put up somehow. It looks really pretty.
You made her run off camera.
No. Sorry.
And she was just telling me she wanted to be the star of the next movie.
She says thank you.
She has very, very pretty wavy hair.
She says thank you again.
I'm excited to see a picture of those baby lambs that you got. It was lambs, or was it goats that you guys got yesterday?
Lambs.
Lambs, baby lambs. Are they super cute? I think I might have seen not a video, but a picture or something of them on Facebook maybe, but that's exciting.
Getting.
Reagan, did you have another question?
No, my sheep's name is Pickles.
Pickles. Do you
Yeah.
like pickles, or is there a story behind that?
No, I just thought he has 2 green ear tags, so I decided to name him Pickles.
That works.
Yeah.
I like that. Very cool.
You gonna say what you named your? So you're first. Okay, fine. My name is Teddy.
Yours is Teddy.
Mhm.
Is there a reason for that name?
Well, he has like the most fluffiest hair,
Oh,
and I don't know, just remember.
I like that. Is he cuddly? Hopefully he's cuddly and he's not a mean one.
Yeah.
Good.
Mine is Hazel and Gus.
Hazel and Gus. I like that. So everybody's getting babies
I
and
have
getting
goats.
ready.
I have goats, not lambs.
Oh, you have goats. Okay.
And I don't show them because I showed them when I was just like 5 because they're dwarf goats.
Oh, okay. So you've had them since then.
I've had them for ever since I was 3. Now I'm 9, so I've had them a
Very
long
cool.
time. And I'm almost done painting my pot.
Cool.
My show heifer's name is Cactus.
You're what?
I said my show heifer's name is Cactus.
Really? That's kind of cool.
I'm
Cactus the show heifer. That's funny. And we just happen to be painting cactuses today. That's kind of
his
perfect.
names are Ranger and Jasper.
I always like to hear how people come up with their names for their show animals. I think that's super cool.
Our new baby calves, their names are Romeo, April, and Blackjack.
Those are all very different. They don't have a theme or anything. Is there a special story behind that?
April was born in April.
That makes sense.
And then
Who was born in April? We named her April.
Romeo was because his mom's name is Valentine.
Oh, that's sweet.
Where's
I like
Juliet?
that.
We haven't had Juliet yet.
You don't have what yet?
Juliet.
Juliet.
She's got Romeo, but no Juliet.
Juliet's somewhere.
Yeah. That's probably gonna be our next one's name.
How's everybody doing? Is everybody getting theirs pretty well done? I see some of you using hair dryers now and And if you're done with your cactus and your cactuses and you are not planning to paint your pot, you can go ahead and put your rocks in your pot and then you can set your little cactuses in there. Obviously, you need to wait probably till they're dry so that they don't get too messy. Once everybody's done, we will put them in our little in our pots and we will hold them up for a good picture for everybody. I'm so glad that several of you have joined us for the last few months, several months of doing 4-H in a box since January. I'm glad everybody seems to have enjoyed themselves, and now you also have several fair entries that you can enter into the county fair in August at our brand new building. You have a few different projects that you can do for that. If anybody doesn't have any questions or anything left, I'll leave you to it to finish painting your pots or whatever it is that you're still working on, but everybody did a fantastic job. They look great. They're going to be cute sitting on your desks at home in your room or wherever you decide to put them, but they look great. Anybody have any questions about anything?
Thank you.
Thank you, Kelby.
Bye.
Bye.
Look
Don't
into
forget to do
the,
your,
look in the chat. That's where the survey is. And a special reminder for the thing you just made.
good job, everyone. Have a fantastic summer. And we'll see you with the 4-H in a box again in September. Otherwise,
Bye.
hopefully we see you at all of our summer programming because that's exciting too.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Have a great summer.